What's going on, guys? I'm Jay, DCA Adventure, back again with another awesome video. And today we are going to talk about how to trade breakouts and throw a little bit of the Bitcoin halving in there. First thing I want to say is trade at your own risk. This is not financial advice. And please, guys, if you like our content, hit the subscribe button, like button, bell for notifications. We'd really appreciate it. Also, we have a private Discord room where we are showing you guys what we are doing, how we're looking at the markets, and we even have a pretty sweet trading script. If you guys want access to that, you need to join the Patreon group. My tier is Trading with a View, and if you join that tier, you will get access to the DCA trading script and the private room inside the Discord. Also, we have several other Discords. Links for those will be in the description. I trade on Phemex and Bybit. The links for those will also be down in the description. And guys, you got to get over to Doge Lord Apparel and get you one of these sweet gaiters. As you can see, mine has Variant 8 on it, so it's the best one. Definitely the best one out of all of them. I suggest you get this one. But, you know, there is ones with Crypto Mikkel's name, Nemesis, Doge Lord, Gundy. We all have them. I'm just playing with you guys. Support them too. Get all theirs. But seriously, mine is the best. And with that, guys, let's get on into what we are talking about today. Okay, let's see here. This is CoinGecko. I like looking at this better than CoinMarketCap. I think it's a little bit more reliable. Over here it tells you how many ERC20 coins or altcoins alternative to Bitcoin there is. 7,202 coins, 416 exchanges, 250 billion market cap, 79 billion total volume. Bitcoin dominance is 65.6%. So for my new guys, when Bitcoin dominance is higher than 50%, that means people are trading and using Bitcoin more than the alternative coins. So usually when the dominance is high on Bitcoin, you'll see all the other poop coins have a red day. We also have Ethereum dominance, 8.98%, and XRP, 3.79%. I shouldn't even have said XRP, but you know, whatever there. Bitcoin, it is down just a tad bit today. Overall, in the last 24 hours, we are up 1.3%. In the last 7 days, 15.5%, which is pretty good. We do tend to see a bit of a run up towards the halving, and I think the halving is in less than 10 days, so something to keep in the back of your head. We'll talk a little bit more what I think is going to happen leading up to it. Ethereum is down with 1.1%, 1.7% over the last 24 hours, and up 2.9% for the week. Not bad, not bad. XRP, talk about him. Tether, new guys, obviously, when we're looking over here at the stable coins, if they're down, usually Bitcoin and altcoins are up. Vice versa, when the stable coins are having a green day, Bitcoin and everything else is usually down. Bitcoin Cash, 0.7% down. Last 24 hours were 0.8% and up 1% in the last week. Let's see here. Cardano, down 0.6%. Last 24 hours were down 0.3% and we're up 4.8% for the week. I like Stellar Lumens. It's up 4.3% for the week. Link is only down 0.2% for the week. Link's been kicking some serious ass. I think it got almost up to $3.90, almost $4. We'll take a look at that later if we have time. I'd like to look at the chain link charts. It's something I personally hold. Then we got Monero, Miggity Monero. It is down 4.6% over the last week. Ralph Cooper, Jesus, dude, this Digibyte, 23.8% in the last 24 hours, and up 96% in the last week. That is just absolutely amazing. Congratulations to you, dude. You talk about it every stream, so that is so kick-ass that this happened with Digibyte. Congratulations on that. I know you made hella gains on this thing. So good job. Good job. And that's pretty much it for the top ones that I'm really looking at. Engine Coin, it's been having some good runs. It's up 5.2% for the last 24 hours, 3.1 for the week. I'm also holding a little bit of Kyber Network. It's down 2.5 in the last 24 hours, 0.9% for the week. It has been going on some pretty decent runs here and there. I do like Kyber Network. You got DAI. This is another stable coin. And that's about it. The only thing we're going to go over on this. What I want to talk about and some of the ways I've been trading here the last week or so is I've been teaching our Patreons how to draw triangles and how to trade these breakouts. And we've had all kinds of decent trades in the last week or so. Congratulations to all the Patreon guys. You are doing very good. Several of you guys have had some kick-ass trades. Matt about MMA, he's, I think, 13 or 14 trades to 2, so he's won 14. He's lost 2 trades. Congratulations, dude. That's awesome. Keep stacking the sats. A win's a win, no matter how big or small, as long as you guys are profitable on your trading. We have Kev. He's been killing it, too. He's been putting down some big trades. Grits, he's had a nice couple trades. You guys are all doing great. You're learning. And that's the biggest thing. You guys have been very patient. You've made a plan and you traded your plan. It's super hard for new guys coming into this because they get so excited and they just want to trade every move. They feel like they have to have a trade on the books all the time. And that's not true. You end up over trading and you get wrecked doing that. So it's, I try to teach you guys how to not make the same mistakes I made when I started out. And by being patient, looking for the right setups, and trading the setup right, and sticking to your guns. That's the biggest thing. If you make a plan, you need to stick to it. Trade your plan all the way out. Do not ever enter a trade unless you plan on putting a stop. If you have no idea where you're putting your stop loss at, then you don't have no business entering into a trade. Just this week, I've seen several guys lose a decent amount of money because they did not use stop losses. First thing we're going to look at is the Bitcoin halving chart with dates. Now, this halving that we're getting ready to have, this will be our 4th one. Or yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it'll be our 4th one. Or be our 3rd one. I'm sorry, it'll be our 3rd one according to the chart here. Yeah, it would be our 3rd one. So if you look back to the 1st and the 2nd, this is the 1st here. And this is where it happened at the 2nd time, and then this is where we're coming in for the 3rd time. But you do see that we did have a little bit of a jump up here on the 1st one. We were kind of flat sideways-ish, ranging into the 2nd one. We did make a nice little high here. We did dump before we actually had a nice run up. But as you guys can see, after we get to the halving, we had a couple nice down moves. And then a really big down move. On our 2nd halving, we had a really nice run up, and then she just took a crap. So we could be coming in real rocky and sideways here into the 3rd halving, and then have our run up after the halving, like we see here. Both times both last halvings, we got our run up after the halving. Before the halving. And we'll look into the charts. I went out and plotted these dates on the charts so we can get a better look and see exactly what happened. But I think that, we could possibly come in pretty rocky, sideways-ish, up into the halving. And then like the last two after the halving, we'll see our little run up, and then it'll dump. But, it's hard to tell with how everything has been going on here lately, and how, with the coronavirus and stuff, and what it's done with the markets, and how everything's reacted. So we'll see. But we're going to look at the key areas to watch for, and I'm going to try to help you guys prepare and make a little bit of a plan on what we're looking at and how we plan on trading this. It's super simple. We're not getting too crazy and trying to pull out every single technical indicator and completely just explode your brain thinking about this, because we can draw a couple simple lines and we can trade off these lines very easily. We've been doing it all week. I do it quite a bit, and that's with drawing triangles and stuff like that. Also, I did see that Bitcoin's hash rate spiked up the highest it's ever been. So that is something to pay attention to. Luckily, I have some very good miner friends, so I just need to talk to them and see what's going on with everything. I have a feeling that the excitement and everything will get us the little bit of a run up that we're having now, and then miners are going to capitulate, especially the mom and pop miners, the small guys they don't have very good electric rates. Me and Mikkel and Nemesis talked about this, nefarious technology. You guys are super smart about this kind of stuff, so I tend to listen to you guys more when you talk about mining and what you guys are doing, what is profitable, if it is profitable to mine Bitcoin at the moment, and is it going to be after the halving. So we will see. Guys, get in the Discord, talk to these guys. They're going to be the ones that know most of this information that I'm talking about right now. When it comes to mining equipment and the computer stuff, I'm pretty much, it's like talking Chinese to me. So, that's their area. Get in there, talk with them. They're going to help you out. We're going to, let me see here if I can remember how I got all these dang charts laid out. Okay, so this was the second halving, and it happened in May, June or July, somewhere right in there. But you can see that we did have a nice run up, and then we dumped down. And then after the halving, it was into the next year. We seen the run up. It was almost about a year later we did get the run up, and that could very well happen. Again, we're going to measure the move and see how big the move was. And you can see it was pretty big. This is on a daily chart. So back here was our second halving. I guess you could say that it ran into 20,000, but if we just measure right when it started, what capped it all off, what started the big bull run, it was let's say down here, it dumped down here, this was bottom. So that was a nice 160% increase that it got there. Now remember, this is a daily chart, so this doesn't look like a big move. But that's a 160% move that we got after the halving before we started the big run to 20,000. If we scroll back here to 2012, you see that it did the same type of thing. We had our nice little run up, and we came down, and then we blasted off, and this happened back in December of 2012, and then into 2013, October, November-ish is when it took off again, so almost a year later. And it was, we'll take a measure, I'm going to say that's bottom, and that was roughly 1,829% increase on that one. Did I measure that one right over here? We'll call this bottom. Yeah, 130%. So, I mean, it was two different, but regardless, it was right about a year later before each one had a huge spike. and that's just something to pay attention for. I would like to see us go into the halving and bottom out like we do here. Do something like this, bottom out. It was actually almost a double bottom there, really. And then we get the good volume and the big good runoff. And it's very possible, but a year later. I'm not looking for this to happen right at the day of the halving. You know, if anything, it's going to dump. You know, people are going to be super excited about it, all the sheep, and they're going to push the price up probably, and that's when, you know, the big whales are going to come in and say nope. Just a hunch I have. So these were the dates of the first two halvings. Let's go over and see where we're at now. So this could have very well started us. I think that I'd like to see us come back down again in this area. It'd be really nice to test the 5,000 area again. That would create a nice bottom here, and then we could take off up. We do have this nice trend line right here. You guys can draw this on your chart. Follow this. And how I trade channels, triangles, bull flags, whatever it is, whatever you want to call them. I use this method I'm about to show you. Super easy method. And right now, you know, we have a couple bull flags on higher time frames. These triangles and channels that I'm showing you here, you can draw everywhere, all over the chart. They're super easy to trade. A lot of the guys in the Discord and the Patreon, they've been trading the setups I've been giving them as far as the channels and how to wait and watch for the breakout. You can draw a channel like this. You can draw a channel like this, and you can trade the in-between of this channel. Being a new trader, I do not recommend trading inside of the channel. I think it's very choppy, very noisy. Things do not always work out correctly in the channel. As you can see, you actually, you would think that once you hit the bottom of the channel, you're going to the top of the channel. And that's not necessarily always it. Sometimes you might go halfway back up and then turn around and come back down. So to watch and be patient and wait for these breakouts, this is how we've been trading them. And what you're going to do is, now remember guys, your channels, you can have a broadening channel, you can have an ascending channel, a descending channel, a narrowing channel. You can have all these different channels. As long as you're drawing them right and you're staying from candle body to candle body and you're not going from candle body to wick, this will help you be a lot more accurate. These lines do act as support and resistance. If you look left to the chart, it'll also help you and show you that yes, it is indeed using support and resistance on the trend line. You can see here support runs all the way over into the trend line. Support, 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 and then you can just move up and show your resistance up here, and you'll see that on the trend line as well. We got resistance up here. You follow it to the right. Indeed, it is acting as resistance, runs right into the channel. You can draw these lines on here, and this is going to show you where we're going to have a pause, where Bitcoin is going to have a fight. Every time we run into a resistance level when we are rising, we will stop at these levels, and we have to buy our way through it. And if we got enough pressure, enough buyers, and not enough sellers, we will break through. And remember guys, every time we test support or resistance, it gets weaker. So if we've tested it 2 or 3 times, fifth or sixth, we're probably going to break through it, and vice versa with support. We test support 3, 4, 5 times, eventually we're going to break it. And that's, you know, you just got to act like that there's sellers up here at the resistance and buyers down here at the support. So every time we go up and hit resistance, There's guys that are buying or selling Bitcoin, and we're buying it, and we're buying it, and they're selling, they're selling, they're selling. Eventually, there's going to be no one up here selling anymore. And once there isn't, and we have enough people to buy, we will break through like we did here. And how we are doing this is we are waiting for the break above or the break below the channel before we enter a trade. So here, yes, Jay, you could have entered a long down here and rode it to the top, and this would have been a nice trade for you. But I guarantee that if you know how to read candles and the way to look at things, if you would have longed here, you would have got to this area right here before you started questioning, should I take my profit here? It looks like trend is getting weaker. Candles are getting smaller. Eventually we're going to have a break. And that's what I would have done. I would have looked at that and said, okay, we are getting weaker. This is an ascending trend right here. It will break down. So, I would have taken profit a little bit early there, but that's why I say trading inside of these channels is a lot harder than just wait for the breakout. And in 80% of the time, the breakout goes a lot more than what we see here. This is a daily chart. This is actually a pretty decent move. It doesn't look like it, but I'll scroll down and show you on an hour chart that it was a big move. But we are waiting until we break the top line. As soon as we break that top line, we're going long. Okay, so we broke, we came back, tested as resistance, tested as support. We validated this as a support line. It held, and then here we go. Boom, 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 boom. We're going. You could kind of say that this is a small bull flag that we're creating right now on this one-day chart. And this move, with it breaking through that channel and that trend line, and then coming back and testing a support, gives me belief that this move is a strong move, and it could possibly be a continuation move. We are just consolidating and getting ready to move to the next leg up. And 10,500, guys, is getting super, super close. So you won't hear me talking about shorting no more. We'll be going right back to longing the pumps, or longing the dumps, I'm sorry. It's just easier. Once you guys go back and look, you'll see that when we are in an overall downtrend, it is easier to short all the pumps. We tend to have a lot more dumps and a lot bigger dumps than we actually have pumps. Trying to trade this whole channel all the way up would have been difficult. There would have been times where you would have shit your pants and was like, oh my god, why didn't I take my profit at the top of the channel, blah 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 blah. It just happened. That's why it's easier to be patient, make one good trade a breakout. And as you can see, if you would have longed right when we broke out of this line, you would have had a decent trade of, that have been almost a 13% move. So you take 13 and you multiply it by whatever leverage you were using, and that would have been your percentage of profit. And then obviously the bigger position that you are in, the more profit you are going to make. Leverage trading is the fastest way to make money and the fastest way to lose it. Just thought I would throw that in there again so everybody is aware. So if this channel, if I am indeed right, and this was a decent strong move, and we see this as a continuation pattern, you guys can see right here that it is a bull pennant. We should, in all rights, bounce around and go back up. But in case that does not happen, and we break, there's two ways you can trade this. You can take the bull flag off. You know what, we'll leave it on because it'll really end up being the same way. What you're going to do is if we break this bull flag, we break that top line, you would want a long here. And we are at the end of the triangle, the flag, and we are at the top of it. So if we do break through the top of it, then you would want a long here and put your stop loss back inside of the flag. So this would be your stop loss right in here. This would be your entry right in here. Okay, so hopefully we break out and we get on going. A lot of times we'll get to break out, it'll come back and test as support, and then it'll take off. You want your stop inside of the triangle, because if it breaks back inside of the triangle, odds are it's going to break down to the bottom of the triangle. And then this is where you need to be watching the bottom. If it breaks the bottom of that triangle, you are wanting to put your short right at the bottom. And then you're going to move your stop loss and you're going to put it back inside the flag right here. A lot of times it'll break the bottom of the flag. It comes back, tests as support. If support is, or tests as resistance. If the resistance is validated, it will reject and it will continue on down. And having your stop inside of the flag will protect you in case it breaks back in. Because at any time if the price breaks back into that flag, the chances of it going all the way through and to the other side are very high. So this is just a good way, and this works 80% of the time. So if you can catch the breakout, it typically does not come back in the flag 80% of the time. It usually does give you a decent run. But just because we're seeing this pattern on the chart does not mean it will play out all the time. We may be at the top of the flag and we're at the end of it, and you think for sure, well, we're at the top, we're definitely going to break through it, and it do completely opposite. So there's two ways to trade the flag, and instead of having to be right and just guess and put your position in now, you wait for the breakout. It's super easy. Maybe we'll go back into the Discord and I'll show you a little bit of behind the scenes of what I've been posting and showing the guys. But that's how you want to trade these breakouts. It's super, super easy. Okay, so here's some more triangles. And if you guys look, we had a nice big triangle here. We get to the end of it, and we are at the top of it. We end up breaking down. So once we got to this bottom line, I would have started looking. Because if you look back here, we tested it a bunch of times here. We tested it a bunch of times here. It's going to be pretty weak. Yeah, we did test 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 times through here. And you could have been watching that whole time. If we would have broken through that triangle, that would have been a nice play. But instead, we broke through the bottom of it. Let's try to make this a little bit bigger. We broke through the bottom of it, so you would have went short right here. You'd have put your stop up right here. And this is the 80% that I'm talking about. So once we broke, you put your stop up here to save you, and boom, we rode all the way down. Right here is another triangle. This is a continuation bearish pattern, descending triangle. Descending triangles tend to break down, and continuation pattern, boom, we did it again. We got to the end of the triangle and dropped again. If you would have went short right here at the end of the triangle, put your stop loss inside of it. That worked out another, that's an 80% chance it keeps going, and it did. Another big stupid trade. Let me take them off of there. And we're going to measure that and see what you would have ended up with. And you guys notice, you can see these triangles. There's big ones, there's small ones, there's medium ones. They're all over the chart. And if you're waiting and you're patient and you wait to the end of the triangle and wait for the break, you'll get it. You'll win more times than you lose if you're doing this right. So we're going to measure here. that was a 132.82% drop. You multiply that by your leverage, and that would have been your profit. Nope, 57%. Let me see here. It's hard to see that thing. Oh, okay, there's the wick. Yeah, minus 57. So 57 times whatever your leverage is, that's what you would have ended up with, which is not a bad trade. So if you look over here, you see that we're doing maybe the same type of thing, but opposite. Okay? You get, so here we had the triangle, we had continuation, then down. Okay? So we had the triangle, our move down, continuation, move down. This is pointing down. Ascending triangles usually break down. Oh, here we got our triangle. We had our move. Now this is continuation pattern. Boom, boom, like that. And then we should see another move to the upside. If it's doing the same thing like it did here and here. And it very well does look like it, okay, because we got our triangle, we got our move up to the top, continuation, another move again. Let's just for shits and giggles, let's see what this overall was as a move. Bottom wick there. Hmm. 62, 63%. So let's take that. Yeah, we've already made that move just in this triangle. So I think it's doing the same thing. But you guys notice that at the end of each one of these triangles, how the breakout worked. Okay. So if we were watching this triangle, we seen the breakout of the top of the triangle. That's where we're longing. We're going to long right here. Now, I have not posted any long signals in the Patreon group right now because it's too risky to long, in my opinion. We will wait till after 10,500 area. Once we break up above that, we come back, test it as support, we validate it, and we continue the uptrend. That's when it'll be an uptrend, and we can say we have started a new trend. Once we do that, I will not be posting longs, but I will show you what to look for and show you how to trade along. I just think they're more riskier. I don't want my guys having that kind of, or being exposed to that kind of risk quite yet. But if you want to try it, then I recommend being on a test net where you can get the hang of drawing the triangle and then playing the breakout. And this is a big patience game. You can do these on lower time frames too. Obviously, you guys heard me say this a million times, but the higher the time frame, the more weight you can put into this kind of stuff, the more TA works. So you draw these on like your hour, your 4 hour, your day chart, especially a day chart. If we're coming to the end of a triangle on a day, move's going to be big. It's going to be big. So and if you can catch it right at the breaking point, then you're going to be in for some big profits. Some big profits. And two, guys, using the DCA trading script, I mean, that thing has every important indicator that you need. So if your strategy is nailed down and you're drawing these triangles and you're looking at the DCA oscillator, it's going to give you a pretty good sense of where that triangle is going to break out. Not saying that highs can't go higher and lows can't go lower, because we all know they can. Bitcoin does what the whales tell Bitcoin to do. So just in the words of Matt about MMA, he told me a good quote today. How does it go? If you fail to prepare, then you're preparing to fail. And I love that quote. It's super awesome, and it makes a lot of sense. If you're not taking the right steps and you're not going in here and you're not looking at all your support and your resistance zones and you're not marking them on your chart and seeing the key levels, seeing the key areas, and putting together a good trading plan with a good backup, and you cover all your scenarios, you'd be surprised how profitable you can be. A lot of guys, especially new guys, think that it's all a matter of just getting in here and slapping down some money and going with it. It's not. It takes me, it could take me up to 3 to 4 hours to actually sit and figure out my trading setup and what I'm going to do and how I'll react. And then sometimes it's fly by the seat of your pants. It just depends on when you open up that PC or that laptop and where them candlesticks are at and what it's doing. I understand that. That's why I would try to get the newer guys to be up on the higher time frames. They can learn the patience. They know it's going to take days, even weeks, for their plan to trade out. And then once you get the hang of that, scroll down onto the small ones and implement that same plan. It'll just be faster. The moves will be smaller. It'll be a little bit harder to time up, but you will eventually get it. You're not going to get rich, trading in your first week, and you might get lucky and make a couple $1,000s, but you'll lose it in the next 4 or 5 trades after. So it's better to just get your plan buttoned down right away before you start playing with any kind of major money. We're going to go through, this is on a 4-hour chart, but you guys can see how all the triangles are drawn on here and how at the ends of every one of them is where we had the breakouts. They're very accurate, very accurate. I mean, hell, basically, like I said, it's a patience game. You're waiting. If it breaks the bottom, we're dumping. If it breaks the top, we're going to take a little pump. Pump might not be as big because we're in an overall downtrend, but if for some reason you were trading this triangle and you did miss the breakout and it did go up, then short the top of it. Try to find the top and short it and come back down. I look at it like this. Why risk trying to get it in a long position for the move up? You can see there's not that many, and yeah, there might be a big one here and there, but for the most part, they are pretty choppy, the up moves. And if you look, we have way more down opportunities in this chart than we do up. And it's easier to catch the down moves than it is to catch the very few up moves that we get that are worth even entering the trade for. So why not let your asset gain value, incur value naturally when it goes up, and then you try to catch it at the top and force your hand. And now we're going to make our asset incur value on the way down, because that's when we'll be in a position. Now we only have to risk one side of the book. There's no risk in long and short positions because we don't even think about short or longing. We don't even talk about it. We're focused on hitting the tops, shorting it, riding that bitch down, making gains. That's how you want to do it. If you're more seasoned and you like to catch the longs and you like to play that riskier trade, by all means do that. But if you're new, you're just getting into trading, I'm telling you, do it this way first, and then if we break 10,500 and we start the uptrend, then don't no more even think about shorting anything. Just you want to try to find the bottoms and you want to try to long all the dumps, and it'll be less riskier to long everything than it is trying to catch shorts, because you'll see that once we get into the uptrend, we're going to have a lot more up movement and more up opportunities than we are going to have down opportunities. So it works the same way, just vice versa. This is what my chart looks like. Of course, I make my lines a little bit skinnier But this is kind of what it looks like when I first start trading. These are all lines of support and resistance. Obviously my red are my resistance and my green is my support. So every time we get down to one of these lines and test it, I know that there is going to be a tussle. Bitcoin is going to have a little bit of fighting going on, and this is where the bears and bulls are bumping heads. And these are the areas you're going to watch. By watching this and having these labeled on one of your chart, and you can go in, if you have a pro account on TradingView, if you just go over to this little cloud over here, you click the arrow to the right of it, you can go to load chart layouts, and this is ones that I already have saved. It'll let you save up to 5 charts. But how you'll save them is, you'll get your first chart on here, you're going to mark all these down, then you're going to go over here and you're going to say rename, and this will be, you'll put on here your daily support and resistance levels. You'll rename it and then it'll automatically save it. Tomorrow when you come in and you open up your PC and you're getting ready to trade, you can go right into your charting. You can come down to load chart layout and you're going to say support and resistance level on the 1 day, and you'll just click it and it'll bring it right up. And you can do this up to 5 charts, so you can rename them whatever you want. And as you guys can see up here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different charts. They're all named something different, and then the next video I do, if I need more than one chart, I'll go in and delete all of these. And you do that just by going in, you'll go into the chart loadout and you'll just hit the X on all these. It'll delete them out. That way you can save a new 5. This is how you can have 5 charts, and you can have 5 different indicators on each. Like one chart, you can be running the DCA trading script, the DCA power tool, and the oscillator. Then on the next one, you could have one for like the MACD and the RSI. On the next one, you could have one with the VWAP and money flow indicator on it. On the next one, you could have Williams fractals and Bollinger Bands. Or you could just not do any of that and just have the DCA trading script, because it has all that stuff combined in it already. You don't need all them other indicators. You could have 5 charts with the DCA trading script on all 5 of them. You could just have different lines, different trends, different patterns you're looking at, different time frames. That's why I like Phemex so much. I have one account and I got a gazillion sub accounts. I got an account for my monthly trade, where I'm only looking at the monthly chart. I got an account for my day trade, just looking at my daily. I got my scalp account. I got my swing trading account. I have an account for pivots. That's something we'll talk about later on. It's all different ways, different strategies that I trade, different stuff that I trade. It's nice having one account all in one, so there's no logging off and signing into a different thing. Everything is all in one. You can get to it within a click. Super fancy. Super fancy. So I suggest you guys hit the link for Phemex down there. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps me to be able to do this kind of stuff with you guys. And also, you're getting into that Patreon group. We do one-on-one sessions. I'll go, we'll get together one-on-one, and I will help you out with strategies and kind of, get you a good grasp on how everything is working and what you should be looking for. We've been doing a lot of group calls here lately. And then just at random, sometimes we might just jump in the voice channel and everybody comes in and we'll all just hang out and have a good time and talk about the charts and what everybody's looking at. And it's helping us all learn together. It's cool getting to pull little tidbits out of everybody's trading style and, add stuff to mine. So I've had a lot of fun doing it. And I know the guys been getting a really good response back from all of it. Everybody seems to love it. The guys are learning a shit ton. And, they've only been doing this for a few weeks. And Mad About MMA's got 13 or 14 wins already under his belt. Now, granted, he may be using small positions, but that's what he should be doing right now. He's doing everything the way he needs to be doing. He's been very patient. He actually has a Google Doc that he shares with me. and it's cool because I get to go in and I get to look. He's updating it every day. As soon as he exits a trade, he puts in there what his profit is. Same with his losses, and it's nice to be able to go in and see what he's doing, see if there's anything out of the normal that I would suggest that he changes. It's not like I'm going to go in and say, oh, what the hell are you doing? This isn't, everybody's different. Everybody trades different. So as long as he's winning and he's comfortable with how he's got stuff set up, then that's great. That's what you want to do. And so far he's been trading his plan. He's been trading it to a T. He has not veered off. And then we've gotten some guys that won a couple trades and then went in a little too heavy on the next 2 or 3 and ended up getting wrecked. So it's just you guys gotta do the same thing over and over. You want to trade like a robot. You want to have no emotions. You don't want to be anger trading. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let's go over to the next chart. See what we got here. That was the channel I was talking to you about. Alright, so this is one of the most important things I've been looking at here. And this is the monthly chart, and this, guys, is a bull flag. Now, I talked about this a few weeks ago. My good buddy Nefarious, guys, get in there, check his charts out. His charts are freaking on point. Dude is nuts with his drawings. Hell of a trader. He does crazy ass 1 minute stuff, but that's his style. That's what he likes. That's what works for him. But we were talking, and I asked him, I was like, hey, why don't you leave in the comments what you think is going to happen with the bull flag? And if I'm correct, I think he said we would test the top and then come back down. So we're at the top, Nefarious, so let's see what happens, buddy. I'm pretty sure this is what you said. I might have to go back and look in the comment section, but guys, keep an eye on this. This is the monthly chart. This is big, 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 big. We break the top of this monthly chart, you better buckle up, bitches, because this thing is going to take off. We will go for a ride. And I think 10K, 10,000 to 10,500 is right where we'll be stopping. So higher the time frame, the more weight you put into this. And how I have mine set up right now on my monthly account is I am long right up here where we would break. And then I'm putting my short or my stop loss right back in here at the inside of the triangle, the flag. And then the same thing down here too. You watching this area, if we would come down here and break that red line, I'm shorting right here outside of the break, and I'm putting my stop loss right back here on the inside of the flag. And it could very well just keep on pooping down. But that's a good big sign for Bitcoin. It is one of the biggest bull flags in Bitcoin history. So something to pay attention to, guys. I'm going to throw my 21-week moving average on here real quick. For the guys in the Patreon group, I know that we've been talking about moving averages a lot and how I trade them. I think they're very important in a trading plan. What you guys could trade with, like if you wanted to trade at the hour chart or the 30-minute chart, use a faster moving average. Like move down to like a 9 and a 26. So 9 would be your faster and your 26 would be your slower. But in general, they're still both faster moving averages to work with rather than the 50, 100, and 200. So when your 9 crosses above the 26, you're looking for the golden cross. Vice versa, when the 9 crosses under the 26, it would be the death cross. You guys can trade them, but like I said, the lower the time frame, the weaker and less this stuff is accurate, and you might get the cross and then it might get the run up a few candles after the cross, so it won't happen right at the cross. These are all lagging indicators, but it will give you an edge on the market in deciding an educated guess on where it's going and what position to get into. So we're going to go over here to the week. And on the weekly here, we did have a golden cross with 50 crossing over, or no, I'm sorry, yeah, death cross, my bad. The 50 weekly moving average crossed the 21 weekly moving average. That's when the faster moving average crosses under a slower. And you see right here when it happened, we did get a big dump. Dang it. The 200 weekly average, we have not really broke that in a long time. It did act as good support. So, the lowest I could see us going again is down to this 200. We might wick past it like we did, but we won't get a close underneath of here. If something would bad happen and we did make it back down here to the 200 and we closed underneath of it, Bitcoin's in big trouble. But you guys can see with this 21 weekly moving average, we follow this thing pretty damn tight all the way across. And it is coming in. I do believe that it will act as resistance for us. So on the weekly, if we were to get a weekly dump, we're looking for the 8,000 to 8,100 area for an area of support. If you guys don't remember when we were talking about the 8K, how we were going to short the 200 moving average on the daily chart, that moving average, the 200 day moving average, was sitting there as resistance. So when we get to the day, we'll take a look, but it should be right around in that area acting as support now, along with this 21 weekly moving average. When we get these crosses, these golden crosses, like back here, we had the 21 weekly cross over top of the 50. We got a nice spike. We got another one that crossed over the 100. We got a decent little run. And then, of course, we got the death cross there. I would be looking. The 21 is pointing back up like it's ready to do one of these numbers. We bottomed out and then come up. It is starting to look like it is going up. So if we can get crossed back over top of that 50, it'll probably open us up for another nice breakout like we had back here and like we had over here. You see, once we crossed it here, we had a real nice run up to 1,400 or 14,000. I'm sorry. So with these moving averages, these are the important ones you guys want to be watching. Let's flip down to the day. All right, so the daily, see guys, it's a 97, 95, $8,000 mark, right? Like where I told you, I'd be looking at this as support line right here. I think we have good support too at the 8,500. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a retest of that. Looking at the daily though, we do have a flag formed, and these are on most of the higher time frames right now, these pennant formations. So get into your charts, guys, and draw these. Trade these breakouts. Be patient and trade the breakouts how I explained to do it, and then come back and tell me how good you did. This is super easy money. What I like to do is make my first downtrend or my first trend line like that with my trend line tool, and then I go to my horizontal line. And you could draw a triangle going up like this and draw the trend like that, but I kind of just like to find the average support and draw a line across it. But you could draw this type of thing too. You could draw something like this, or you can make it come out like that. wait till we hit the bottom and break below it. And you can see that my support line and this support line, it matches pretty much in the same area. But what you want to do is wait for this breakout. If we come back and we break out at the top of this, and you want to go long at the top. If we come down and we bust through the bottom, then go short. Like I said, stay away from the middle for right now. Wait till you're more seasoned. You've been doing this for a little bit, a couple years, and then go in and try to trade these insides. It's not cut and dry where we hit support, we go to resistance, we hit support, we go to resistance inside the triangle. It doesn't always work like that. We may only go halfway up and turn around, come right back down, and hit your liquidation price. So, and if you look here on the daily, the 21 moving average on the daily is getting ready to cross the 200 and 100 day moving average. And if you notice that back here, when the 21 crossed the 50, this would have been considered a golden cross, because the 21 is faster than the 50, okay? Because this is only calculating 21 days of the closing average price, as to the 50 is calculating 50 days of the average closing price. So when we see it crossed over the 50 on top, we did get a hell of a spike up. And we're getting ready to cross the 100 and 200 now. And looking at the flag here, this could very well mean that this just gives you even more backing as to this could be a continuation. So be looking for the cross, guys. It is close, and trade the breakout. Focus and be patient just on a breakout, you guys. I promise it's so much less stressful, and you will get a better sense of how to do these. The more you do them, man, the better you get. Check out the 2-day. I like looking at all the higher time frames, because the more stuff you find and see, the bigger the play out is. And as you can see on a 2-day time frame, we got the pennant formation, bull flag. I mean, it's right there. This is easy trading, guys. Easy trading, guys. We do have a death cross about to happen, though, with the 50 and the 100. If that 50, and it looks like it is crossing under that 100-day moving average, so we might get a drop. And we'd be looking around the $8,500 mark for the first decent support on the 2-day time frame. And then if we broke there, you'd be looking for the 50 and the 100-day down at the 8,000. And you see how these moving averages are all telling you 8,000 at a different point, a different time frame. So 8,000 is key support. So we break through 8,500, and if we do dump, I'm sure 8,500 ain't really going to be that hard to break through. But the 8,000, I guarantee, is where we stop, and we probably consolidate, and we bounce around and range out for a little bit before deciding what we're doing then, whether we break back to the upside or we break down. But right now, I see a lot of bullish scenarios, a lot of bullish signs, a lot of signs telling me that there's strength in the previous move we just had. And it's just, you got to be prepared, guys. If you're not, then you know what I mean. It's you're gonna miss it. You don't have to be right if you can prepare for both situations and you can trade accordingly. So overall, we think that because of the bullish signs and what the chart is showing, that we may have a continuation to the upside, but it only takes one whale to come in and decide differently. And that's where you guys got to be on your toes and put your goddamn stop losses in there to save you in case this happens. A lot of new guys put too much faith into, well, I seen a head and shoulders pattern. I drew it and it looked just like a head and shoulders, so it has to go down. Well, buddy, I'm sorry, but I've seen head and shoulders pattern play out that were picture perfect, and they went the complete freaking opposite way. You just got to be ready. You have to have your shit straight and your head screwed on straight, or you're gonna F up and you will lose. Let's scroll up here on the DCA oscillator and take a look and see what it is telling us. You guys can see that it is saying we are in the oversold position, and this is typically what I look for when we've had such a big momentum wave up. They like to do this here, so we get a nice big one. Everybody thinks, oh my God, we're oversold. Well, so the wave's going to come all the way down. It's going to break zero, and it's going to keep coming down, and it doesn't do that at all. What ends up happening is we get these nice little root wave and then a nice trigger wave, and that's what I'm hoping here. We'll just get a nice root wave here, and we'll get a nice trigger wave, and then price will start to break down. And then we'd be able to, if it breaks past zero, then we can confirm that it's going to go down even more. Money flow index wave still looks good. It's still up in the green. We are on a 2-day chart. Why don't we switch over to our 3-day? All right, here we had a death cross. The 21 moving average crossed underneath the 100, and you can see we got the drop out of that. And this is, guys, you can see that it doesn't, there's no news, there's nobody talking bad about Bitcoin and coronavirus this and coronavirus that. That's why this broke down. No, it broke down, one, because there's a head and shoulders right here. Two, we had a death cross. And three, there wasn't very good support through there, and it broke right through it. So super easy to have caught that one. If you guys know what how to look at your patterns, what to look at. We do got the 50-day curling up. Let's see here. Yeah, that 50-day is right around the $8,000 area. So again, this is another moving average confirming how important of an area the 8K is, and that we need to be watching. It would not surprise me at all to get back down there, at least here in the short term. 50-day crossed there underneath the 100. We got the death. Well, actually, no, it never even was above it. There. Crossed underneath there. We got the dump. But there was no golden cross again, and we still rose. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright, that's enough with Bitcoin. You guys seen what I'm thinking is going to happen with that. I'm going to do this from my buddy Ralph Cooper. Take a look at DigiByte. This thing has been on an absolute kick-ass run, and it just looks even better. We did have a nice big golden cross where we crossed the 21 at moving average, crossed over the 50 and over the 200. That was a big reason why we had the big nice spike up like this. You guys can see that we did have a nice bottom out. We got to the end of the downtrend, and now look. Let me see here. Take off all the drawings. See the doji? Get to the bottom of the downtrend, and then right there, smack in your face, is a nice long-legged, you could call that a dragonfly doji. Or no, that's a gravestone doji, I'm sorry. But that's a bullish candle. That's a reversal candle, and as you see, it did happen. And then you have another one right here. This is a dragonfly doji, and we went up again. Let's jump down to a 1-day chart. So we got the golden cross back here on the 100, the 50, and the 200 moving average with the 21. Now this 21 moving average is the fastest. So, even if you put like a 9 on there and use the 9 moving average or a 10 moving average, it's going to be faster. And you'll see where it crosses, you'll see the pumps and the dumps as well. But yeah, it did. We had a nice golden cross back there. That was the reason for the run up. This thing has almost went up 100% from for the last week, I think it was. Let's just see. Days. The last 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So down here. Yep, 100% right there. 98.3% this last week. I mean, that was a beautiful move. Beautiful move. And congratulations, Cooper, for holding this shit. He asks me every time about it. So I figured we'd get on here and chart it a little bit and kind of see what's going on with everything. Let me reset the chart. See where we got some decent support, where we should probably see it come back down. Wow, Ralph, look at this. It looked like it ranged forever, and it did, and then finally had an explosion. So I would be looking for the 0.018 as the first area of support if it comes back down to this. We'll see. It did on the daily print this bearish divergence right here. At the end of the divergence, you did get a small little down, but this is actually a bullish candle. You've seen how the buyers pushed the body all the way up to the top of the candle there. So yeah, I would it's a good time to be holding DigiByte. I mean, this little pullback it's having right here may be the last time you'll be able to get it for this price. See what a 3-day chart says on it. All right, not that much information on the 3-day chart. And they're just now getting ready to cross again, Ralph Cooper. So if this crosses again and it plays out again, you're looking at, you know, another 50 to 100% move on this thing. We are in the oversold area, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's time to come down right now. Mind you, a 3-day red candle usually is pretty strong indicator that, yeah, we're going to come down a little bit more. So just be watching for that, guys. Get in the Patreon group. I got all kinds of tips and tricks in there. I got a couple things I posted to the guys today. They are alerts. They will let you know when big volume come into the exchange you're trading on, or when big volume leaves. It will sound off bells. It does all kinds of cool stuff. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You guys got to get into the Patreon to see. Get in there, and I'm throwing out signals here and there, decent shorts, stuff to watch for. You guys can trade any of those. Just, you know, if you're weary about whether I know what I'm doing or not, you guys just join the Discord. We have a free section in there, trading with the view. Nefarious Technologies in there, always posting good ass stuff. Get in there and check him out. But you know, just ask around. You just gotta ask some of the guys. Go into the Crypto Mentor Discord. Astro Park, my partner, he has got a badass bot in there, guys. When me and Astro are not trading, that bot is trading. It does a lot of quick, fast trades, like 15-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame. But that thing is so super accurate. And right now, he's only running a deal for 2 more days on this bot. So you can get 1 month for $10, 2 months for $20, or if you pay $30, you can get a month of access to all of the Crypto Mentor scripts, which is, there's tons of them. Astro Park has a ton of them. They are all awesome. But you know, we pretty much cater to your every trading style. So whatever you guys got going on, we possibly have a script that will work good for you. But for $30 for a month, you will get access to all those scripts, and you will get access to his bot, and you will be put into the Signals group. So if you buy right now for $30 a month, you're locked in at that. That's what you'll pay, is $30 a month for the entire time until you decide not to pay. And you know, the goal is to get you guys in there, teach you, learn you, and kick your ass out the door. Make room for the next group, where you can stay for as long as you like. I really don't care, guys. I'm just saying. But That's all I got for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed what we talked about. Remember, draw those triangles. Be patient. Wait for the breakout. Make a plan. Trade your plan. With that, guys. Oh, get to Doge Lord. Got to get the Gator. Get the one that says Variant 8. That'd be supporting me. I would very much appreciate it. And it is the best one. Dude got this thing on, right? You can see it. It's going to be awesome for work because they're making us wear masks now, so this thing will be perfect. But you can't get much cooler, wearing this thing that has my name on it. I mean, that already makes you like 150% more times cooler. I think getting the Crypto Mikkel one or the Nemesis or the Gundy one, you're only like 25% cool. So get this one, guys. Hit up Doge Lord Apparel. Link for that will be in the description. Coupon code free shipping will get you free shipping on your order. And if you join the DCA, your brand, which is Chris, that provides all this stuff, he will help you, brand your own small business. If it's a YouTube channel, podcast, anything like that. You want to start a store selling swag. I mean, he'll help you. And but getting into his Patreon group, you guys will have access codes to all kinds of discount codes to get a nice discount on anything that you purchase from him. But all right, guys, have a good night. Wash your hands, wear your mask, stay inside, use the stop loss. Have a good night.